what it is. The phone failed. So this is part 2. I was gonna do 2 parts. Yeah. But like I was saying, like you're in a relationship and you decide that you want to leave this person. So if you want to leave them, you was in that relationship. I say anything over 5 years. Hey, that person needs severance pay, baby. It may sound funny, but they need severance pay. So you have to think about this before you go through your midlife crisis. It goes back to that's my third point. How is it going to affect and how is it going to hurt the person in your inner circle? If in that inner circle, it's going to... Now, I'm not talking about is it going to break their heart? Because hearts get broken all the time. Hey, man, build a bridge, get over it. Don't stick with somebody because you don't love them no more. Don't stick with somebody because you ain't happy with them no more and say, well, I need to go on to stay with them because it's going to hurt them. Yeah, and if your ego that big and think they ain't going to find nobody else, you just as crazy as the day is long. Okay? Bottom line up front, hey, dude, what I'm talking about, are you going to hurt them or it's going to put that person in a financial bind where they can't make it? Is it somebody that can't really physically take care of themselves? But as far as you're in a midlife, I'm gonna stop. Well, that's the name of this topic, midlife crisis. So that's what y'all can relate to. But you going through this so-called midlife crisis, what people want to call it. But bottom line up front, you found somebody new. Go to that somebody new and say, hey, babe, we ain't gonna be able to buy the jet skis. We ain't gonna be able to eat at Papa Do's because, hey man, I still gotta take care of a girl. And if you really love me and you really wanna be with me, hey man, hey, you gotta understand. You say you love me. Then you say you love me. Then you say you want me to leave her. So hey man, help me pay these bills, and y'all think I'm joking, man, but I'm serious as the day is long, because that's why that's why people end up hating people and relationships end so bad because of the simple fact we don't talk about it. We live in this delusion that people don't fall out of love. We live in this illusion that people don't die. We live in this illusion that you can drive the same car for 2 years and soon a new one come out, you want another one. But then it's incredible if you're in a relationship and then all of a sudden that you fall out of love. Oh no, what did I do wrong? You ain't do nothing wrong, cuz. Time, baby. That's all it is. What we used to say in artillery, time on target, baby. That's what it was. So when I'm talking about midlife crisis and I'm saying, hey, don't hurt the people in your type circle. Don't hurt them. But I'm not saying don't leave them. Because leaving may be the best thing for them. Think about it. How many relationships have you had and you left a person? And then when you left them, you look back 5 years later, that joker got a good job. That joker riding around in that 4-door Porsche. I'm hate. Lucky, he said, man, I ain't do that when I was with him. You know why? Because you was their anchor. Not in a good way. He was their anchor. He was holding them back. And so, it's the same thing. Like you look and you say, man, and sometimes you don't want to admit it. You look at somebody and say, man, they broke up. But man, since they broke up, now don't looking happy. Is somebody finding happiness, or should we all just go through life in this illusion? Like, man, I love her. And I ain't in love. And if you ain't in love, man, stop the BS and keep it moving. Keep it moving. Because believe me, if that person is following me, I'm gonna help you get over it. Because you can shoot me an email and say, hey man, hey, call me up, I need to talk. Tell me, here's my situation. Here's my situation. How can I get over this situation? And I ain't no expert, man. I'm not an expert. I'm just somebody who like to talk. I'm just somebody that God gave the gift to analyze situations. God gave me the gift where I can analyze situations and see things that other people don't see. No, I'm not a psychic, but when I say that, He gave me a forgiving heart, and with a forgiving heart, that's a lot of times that's all it is. A forgiving heart makes you see things that, dang it, the scales on my shoulder, hope I ain't overweight, I should have weighed this thing. I know I got like probably about 70. I only got half a tank of fuel. I got about 79,000 pounds. Yogurt. Baby food. This is not people food. It's like people go back and now they eat yogurt. It looks like baby food. You want some yogurt? But bottom line up front is, if somebody leave you, hey, they was meant to leave you. If somebody stay with you, people that, just like I said about this here, if you look around and see how many people because I look on here and see how many people has actually looked at every last one of these episodes, those are the people that's meant to look at them. I look around and friends in my life that I don't see anymore, people who left here, I said, you know what? Ran its course. So when you look and you say, oh, he's just going through a midlife crisis. No, he or she just got enough courage to leave. He or she just got enough courage to say, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Now this is a true story. Had a friend, and he was like, man, I don't believe this, man. He said, I was married for 15 years, and my wife just left me for another one. The average brother laughed, man, you ain't man enough, your woman got to take him out. I said, bro, my question is, how you didn't know? What you mean, how I didn't know? I said, I thought y'all was in, some special type of relationship because I knew the first time I met your wife, she was a lesbian. Oh man, how can you say that about my wife and she had my kid? I'm like, man, she was living a lie. And because y'all wasn't open enough to talk about it, then she continued to live this lie and she was miserable. Man, that's messed up. You saying that I ain't treat my wife? Nah, he's a perfect husband, man. You gave, you did all the things a husband was supposed to do, except for one thing. You didn't listen. You didn't listen. You didn't open the doors where 9 times out of 10 she probably tried to tell you 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And every time it came up, it's something you said that closed the door. And sometimes in a relationship, to prevent somebody from leaving you during a midlife crisis, sometimes you just need to shut up and listen. You just need to shut up. Like I told y'all in the relationship portion, like when my daughter came to me and told me that she was thinking about having sex, and I went back to the office and beat my head on the wall because of the simple fact I just couldn't deal with it. But then at the same time, I didn't want to close that door. I didn't want to close that door because once you close that door, it's closed. Nothing else you can do about it, Cub P. Nothing else you can do about it. It's closed. It's closed forever. You know, you can't come back and say, well, hey, babe, you know, I've been listening to Big Easy, and now I have a different mindset about what you're going through, and I understand now. Nah, dude, I don't trust you like that. Because the last time I tried to tell you, you cussed me out and called me all types of B's and O's. So now I'm good. And they may say, okay, I understand, but really, in the back of their mind, they're like, man, I ain't telling that joke. Jack, you know. And so you look, and what you got to do is when you're going through this time of, when you know that you've been with a person for a while, you know a person is getting older, getting up in age. Sometimes when they come to you, well, no, all the time when they come to you, you got to open up those lines of communication. You got to let that joker know, like, hey, baby, you know, whatever it is. You know, I live in Atlanta. So what do we have the biggest problem with in Atlanta? Married guys coming out the closet saying they're gay. Right? I have no problem with homosexuals. I told y'all that from the beginning. But if you are, that's something you need to share with your spouse with. And I'm going to tell you something. I'll tell you a little secret. It's couples out here that's in relationships where one of the couples is gay. I mean, one person in the relationship is gay. But they was able to accept that person for what they are, and then say, well, what you bring to the table is a lot more than I'm gonna leave on the table if I let you go. So some things you have to just look and say, is that 1% worth these other 99%? What can I deal with? But as we continue to talk about how it affects the person that's on the other end of the spectrum of that midlife crisis, that's what I want to get people to understand, is when you're on the other end of that midlife crisis, because if you hadn't gone through it, you're going to go through it. And now, what you got some get back when you start going through it. You can go to this person and say, hey, boo, look, remember when you was going through your midlife crisis, and I sat there and I was attentive, I listened. It was hard for me to understand, but my love was more important than my ego. My love was more important than my heart. My love was more important than anything. That was the most important part of the equation. So I listened. So now, baby, I'm going to go through the same thing. And so, look, I'm telling you right now, you know, I'm at that point in my life where, you know, I see this type of woman and I like looking at her. I like talking to her. But I love you. How many women can take that? No. Reverse that. How many of y'all brothers can honestly take that? How many brothers is listening to this now? You know, and I've learned how I can pose on here. I'm gonna put this on here at the, you know, to show it'll be a poll, because I want to know if your significant other is going through a midlife crisis, and they tell you, babe, I'm going through this midlife crisis, and in order while I'm going through this midlife crisis, I done met somebody that, no, I don't want to spend the rest of my life with this person. But hey, right now, I want to go out and party with this joker. This dude is so cool. This dude is Big Easy times 10. Which, yeah, y'all know me, man. I ain't gonna never find a Big Easy times 10. But, hey, but he just as close to Big Easy as you can get, you know? And I still love you. I still want to be with you. I like what we have. But this little small portion, we're missing a beat on. It's just 1% that we're just missing a beat on, right? And I don't want to leave you. You know, I don't want to go behind your back. I want you to know that, hey, this is my portion of the midlife crisis. This is what I'm going through. How many of y'all can do that? You know? And see, the thing about it, not too many people can, right? But then at the same time, if you're in a relationship with somebody and they become an alcoholic, all of a sudden, everybody in society tell you, hey, you got to stick with that person. You got to have their back because that's just what God wants you to do. Well, the same way that person get to a point in their life where they still love you, they still want to be in this relationship with you, but right now, it's just something just ain't right. Then you should be able to say, hey, babe, it's going to be hard, but I'm going to suck it up and drive on it. Could I do it? I don't know. I ain't been faced with that situation. I don't know how I react. I don't know how I would react in that situation. I don't know if Teresa came to me and say, well, hey, I've been looking at Joe and you know, me and Joe been talking on the phone, and but I know Joe can't do for me what you can do for me. Financially, spiritually, emotionally, but Joe's a good time. I think my ego, and even though anybody that know me know I laugh and play like I have a big ego, but I don't have a big ego. But could I handle that? I don't know. I'm keeping it real, bro. I'm keeping it real. You know, could I be that type of joker that like, okay, babe. You know, but see, I am a Libra. So if there's any Libras out there, y'all know how we roll. Hey man, if it's good for you, it's good for me. If that's the game you want to play, then that's the game we're going to play then. You know, all right, go ahead, do you. But I'm going to do me. Yeah. But am I doing it for get back or am I doing it for something I did? So I haven't had to face that issue. So I'm throwing it out there to you because that's part of the midlife crisis. I don't know if I'm in my midlife crisis now or only thing I know it's going to be I'm going through a transformation period. And as I go through this transformation period, I do research and I analyze other people who've been through the same situation. And so I'm kind of prepared. I'm preparing myself for what's going on. When I was a first song, I taught the first song course in Fort Eustis. And people came from Fort Bragg, Oklahoma. E8s came from all around. E8s and E7s came from all around to this class. They did the first part online. And then the next part was really, and my boy Jay was mainly just facilitators. It was still done out of the Sergeant Major's Academy, but it was through video. It was teleschool, or whatever you want to call it, video school, where, you know, we gave the tests, we was there, but, you know, everything was done on TV. And one portion of the class that we had to teach was improprieties. And I taught that portion, and this guy, he was used him as an example. I said, hey, so give you well, we call everybody first sergeant. I say first sergeant. Give you an example. Your units get ready to deploy. Since your unit get ready to deploy, now you come into work at 5:30 in the morning, and most of the time you don't leave till 8, 9 o'clock at night, and you're doing this 5 days a week. Weekends come around, you're playing catch up on everything you can't get accomplished during the week. Weekends come around, you getting jokers out of jail, stopping jokers jumping on their spouse, getting jokers stealing at the PX, all this stuff going on. And after you do this for about 3 weeks, you come home, and by the time you come home, your wife done already put the hair rollers in her head. She done took the makeup off. She ain't in the best of moods because she done been putting up them bad kids of yours. And you touch it because you're like, hey, I want some loving, baby. And she look at you and she be like, man, if you don't get out of here. And then that next day, you go to work and you got this 23-year-old clerk sitting there. And that clerk sitting up there every day, anything, your beck and call. Yes, first sergeant. Anything you need, first sergeant. I got you, first sergeant. Now, it's 6 o'clock at night. Everybody gone home. All of a sudden, here come Josephine Private come in her Daisy Dukes. Hey, first sergeant, I was just leaving the barracks and just go hang out. I was just wondering, did you need anything, first sergeant? I said, now how would you handle that? This joke could turn bloodshot red and said, first sergeant, I'd never put myself in that situation. I said, and he was a master sergeant, he hadn't had the diamond yet. I said, hey, let me tell you a little secret, John Wayne. The day you put that diamond on, the day you're gonna put yourself in that situation. Because of the simple fact, we're drawing the power. We want to be around people with power. No matter what you look like, what you smell like, or whatever, we're drawn to people with power. So now, little Becky, the only thing she sees is this big, powerful, strong guy. No matter how weak you are. You can be the biggest dweeb in the world. But now, all of a sudden, this is what little Josephine sees is Superman. She sees Big Easy. Now, how are you going to handle that? Well, first of all, I ain't going to put myself in that situation. And I know that'll never happen because I'll be the ultimate professional. I won't be that first sergeant that don't think. I was like, if you don't have a plan going into this, you have a plan to fail. And I told him, and I told the whole class, everyone, male, female, you got to go into this situation knowing that that's going to happen. Knowing that you're going to be placed in this situation, and knowing when you see yourself getting in this situation, what you're going to do to get out of it. Have an out, have an escape route. Because if not, what's going to happen, you're going to get caught up in a banana in the tailpipe tree. And it's the same thing. If you was able to stick with me throughout this week, I want to leave it in nothing else. Nothing else. Remember, you got to have an escape route as you go through this midlife crisis, especially if you're in a relationship. Because if you're in a relationship, it not only affects you, but it affects that person that you have been with for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. You got to have an escape route. And that escape route is what? Our greatest tool right here. Yeah, babe, this is going to hurt you, but this is what I'm going through right now. Because if you don't allow me to tell you this now, only thing this is a shot in the arm. It's a booster shot. I'd rather give you this booster shot now. I'd rather give you this tetanus shot now than for you to have lockjaw 6 months from now. Because of the simple fact that, hey, this is what I was going through and I wanted to open up and tell you about it and close the door. So, don't close the door. Let that person in that relationship with you give you a booster shot every now and then. You give them a booster shot every now and then. Hey, babe, this is what's going on. I'm struggling with this. I'm going to work every day, and I'm seeing all these cats coming in, these same dudes coming in, talking about how their weekend was. Hey, can I have a mancation? I just want to take off and go to the Dominican for a week. You know, I swear when I come back, if I ain't a better man, then I pack my stuff and leave them home. You know, women, hey, babe, you know, all these women is coming in, they doing this, they doing that, they saying I great this is, they saying I great that is. Hey, can you take your heart off your sleeve for a minute so I can, you suck as a husband. You suck as a father, you suck as a man. I need you to step up. And that's what you gotta do. Is it gonna prevent a midlife crisis? Is it gonna prevent problems as we go through this transformation of older age? Accepting the fact that, you know, you're not the person you used to be. The key thing is accept that you're a better person than what you used to be. Because that person who you used to be was at the training stage. You get this age right here, you're a professional. Hey, and God be with y'all during this 4th of July holiday. Remember that 4th of July represents independence. It represents freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to be free. That's what it's about. So when you're throwing those ribs on there, think about Big Easy, because I probably have some on the back of the truck, taking it to Publix, getting it done. Don't feel sorry for me because I'm getting paid, dude. That's what it's about. It's about the paper. But remember, you know, freedom ain't free, baby. 1%, 99%. Okay? Remember that. So keep your head up. Go to the plate, swing the bat. This your boy Big Easy, Too Easy Unchained. This Friday Unchained. And we're gonna make it happen, Captain. We out, baby.